Happy Camper Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Happy Camper Radio Show. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. And with that question, we're going to make a happy camper out of you. This week, we're coming to you from the Coastal Georgia RV Resort in Brunswick. Daniel made the trip down here.
Hey, here I am.
And look who's joining us on the show, Jody and Heidi Bates.
Hi!
Yes, wow.
Woo!
And they brought the Bates Motel with them.
We did.
Wow, so good to have you here. We got a great show lined up for you today. We're on the road this week. Stick around for it. Episode 281 coming at you right now.
Happy Camper Radio.
And the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners like yourself. You can find us in any number of the podcast directories out there. Punch Happy Camper Radio into your search engine. You'll find us there. We're on the web 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on X, and by all means, check us out on our YouTube channel where you'll be able to see this show. Wow, what an event we're having, aren't we?
Yeah, where's the rain, Skip?
Now, well, thank you for being here, Daniel. You chase the rain clouds away.
Yeah,
you do it
I
every
did.
time.
I told you I got power, Skip.
Yeah, well, I'm not paying your salary while you're here, okay?
Oh,
So,
boy.
yeah, I mean, just thank you for the sunshine. I greatly appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Jody and Heidi, so glad to have you aboard here with us, too.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
great. Happy to be here. Yeah.
So this is your first visit to the Brunswick Rally, isn't it?
It is.
Absolutely.
This is my second Grand Design Rally. And rallies are nothing new to you folks because you actually are the host of the show up in New England, aren't you?
That is correct.
We are.
Wow, what does it take to put an event like this together? I can imagine there's a lot of work goes into
A
it.
marriage counselor.
Okay.
Lots of therapy. Yep. And no sleep. And no, I mean, it's just a lot of free time, you know, on the side. It's kind of like having a part-time job on top of your full-time job.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot involved. You have to reach out to vendors and find campgrounds and, you know, get all the activities together and schedule.
How far
So,
ahead do you plan for an event?
we started planning for next year 3 months ago. So
Wow. Okay, and that's in 2025.
yeah, and so
So-
we haven't even done this year's, and we're already.
Okay, and how many folks showed up for last year's event?
Ooh, that's a Jody number.
That is a Jody number. Last year we had about 130-ish campers. About close to 300 people.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, a few weeks ago, I got back from the Myrtle Beach Rally. That was my very first one, and wow, did we have an awesome time.
That's great.
Yeah,
It
that
was,
was a
it
big
was
one.
fantastic. You know, I'm the only one not wearing sunglasses here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
The camera's getting my best side, okay?
Anybody watching this, you need to send them some sunglasses, please.
I'll just be wiping the sweat from you here.
Why don't you tell them why y'all were wearing red today?
Yeah, why are we wearing red? We're remembering those who are serving.
Yeah, red basically is remember everyone deployed, and it's our way of just recognizing everyone that's been deployed.
I didn't know about this, Skip.
yeah,
You
it's-
didn't tell me.
Well, I told you
Yep.
to go get your Iron Dogs shirt this
Oh, yeah.
morning.
Well, we got no glasses and we got no red shirts. So
Okay.
it kind of evens out.
Yes, yes. But
Yeah.
it's on Fridays, and it's kind of something that at every rally that we do.
Yeah,
And
nice.
this year, this rally, we're doing Iron Dog Canine International red shirt because that's the charity they have here this year.
Yeah, well, speaking of rain, we did have rain in Myrtle Beach. It wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, but all the events were held in a large tent.
Yeah, they did
And
a huge tent
you know, there's a lot of seminars planned for these, and of course myself, I didn't attend that many. There were a few in there that I did have an interest in that I attended. But what I'm finding out about these rallies is the fellowship. You meet a lot of wonderful people.
You do.
You know, and
do.
I'm really looking forward to sitting down and getting ready for the next rally, whenever that may be. There's a lot here over on the East Coast. You know, we've got you folks up there in New England. The Tennessee Rally, the South Florida Rally.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be very busy next year.
Oh, that's good.
so-
And again, you'll meet a lot of people. Our first rally was in 2019 as attendees, and that year we met a lot of people that are actually here. We actually caravanned down with them, and they've become lifelong friends of ours. So it's amazing. Again, because of this camper and this community, we have now friends for life, and who would have thought that? You know, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's the truth. And when we got here the other day, Sadie and I, and of course she's over here. She's a smart one. She's over in the shade right now. Okay. But you know, when I got here, I went in and checked in, and no sooner did I put my truck in drive, and I look out my rear view mirror and I see the Bates Motel right there behind me.
Can't miss it. You can't miss
Couldn't have
it.
planned it out.
So yeah, how long have you been working on that project?
The wrap on the camper itself.
Yes.
We got that. Well, it kind of evolved into its own thing. Several years ago, we bought a sticker from Etsy, and we peeled off the Imagine on the front and put the Bates Motel on, and then we went out to the Grand Design National Rally 2 years ago, and we got the front cap done, and then last year they wrapped the rest of it at BGS in Indiana. It's evolved over like 3 or 4 years, I would
Wow.
say, and it's still not done. We have some more surprises coming this year for it. So.
Well, it's kind of like my RV. Of course, I don't have the Uber hotel on there, but I tell you, I'm constantly adding things to it. There's always something.
Amazon loves you.
They
Yep.
do, and you know, and as I talked on the show last week, I went ahead and put 4 remote holders in there, and it's
about
come in real handy.
Oh,
And
Oh,
I'll
I'll
tell you about that. So
I'd like to
last
see
night
this.
We were watching TV, right? And my phone fell right through the seat. I was like, oh my God, did I leave my phone somewhere else? Because I was out all day yesterday. And I could not find it for nothing. And then Skip called it. I had to get down into the seat under
Yeah.
all the stuff. And
Isn't that
dislocated
fun?
my shoulder.
Isn't that a lot of fun?
It's a great
That
time.
was amazing.
Yeah, I can't tell you
Just
how many
leave it
times
there and
I
buy a new
lost
one, it's
my
easier.
Roku remote down inside that recliner.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a black
it's
hole.
something trying to get that out of there.
It is.
Yeah.
And here's Daniel. He's sitting in the recliner. There's a remote holder right there. Nope, he won't put his
Where's my
iPhone in
phone?
there. Okay, nope. Okay, he'll do it now.
Yes,
He was smart enough to put his glasses in there the other day,
was.
and he forgot them too.
I'll have to check these out. These sound like a great idea.
Yeah. Well, you
Because
say
when
you
put
say
them
you
in the
just
chair, they do get lost in the chair.
Yeah. That's something Grand Design really hasn't perfected yet, is preventing you from losing things down inside there. Yeah.
I think that you should talk to them about your design.
I might even do that. We
I
might
do.
send them this show, and they can go to work on that. But you mentioned you just got back from the National Rally. Tell us about that.
So the National Rally is, boy oh boy.
in Indiana every year.
Indiana, Goshen,
Elkhart.
Fairgrounds, Elkhart State Fairgrounds. This year they had like 650 rigs of everybody
Just
that
Grand
has the
Design.
same,
Yeah.
just same interest,
Yeah.
and it brings so many people together. They have so many different sections. They have area hosts for each section, so every area host is their own small rally for 2 days prior to the rally. And then once the rally starts, everyone kicks into rally mode. But it was, words can't explain the feeling going there. It kind of changes your outlook. The first time we went to National Rally, it was a whole new just outlook on kind of like life, and it's so weird to say, but the people that you met and being able to have a conversation with Don Clark, the owner.
I think that's a big thing, is the actual owner of Grand Design is there all week, and he talks to his owners, and he wants to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. He's there, and he's a real person. He's not some stuffy guy in a suit that you just see on TV commercials. He's physically there with you, sweating and enjoying the rally, and he really gets
And
involved.
I saw you sent
It's
me
pretty
some
awesome.
pictures of last year's event. You met him.
Yep.
Yeah, he signed
Yeah.
our camper twice. His son has signed our camper. Actually, his son's first camper he ever signed was
First
ours.
signature,
Yeah. So yeah, he's if you ever get up there, definitely he's worth meeting, and I think you'll just be really impressed. He's just a real guy, and we actually really adore Don. He's been really just a great guy.
Yeah, well, we've been trying to get Daniel into a Grand Design, and
Yeah, Daniel, what the heck?
and-
I'll buy yours when you move up.
you
How
know,
about
and
you
I
buy the
understand
Bates
they're
Motel?
coming out with
Buy
a
the 10 cents.
they're coming out with another model this year. It's actually a
Yes,
motorhome.
It is the Lineage.
Wow,
the
that's going to be
Lineage. It's-
something. And if
yeah.
we can ever get them to do a pop-up, and I think Daniel might be their first customer.
Yeah.
I like the Class C.
Well,
opposed to a class
let me
two.
tell you, look for that Lineage. I think it's coming out in June or July. They're showcasing it, so we're excited to see that too. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward
I
to
know
that.
a whole different group of individuals to bring into the Grand Design family.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I'll tell you what, the MK200 is not like sitting idle very long.
Yeah, you
I'm
move
going
it
to be
a lot.
down here for 5 days, and we're actually leaving out on Monday.
Yep.
And Daniel, I think, is leaving out a day before because poor guy's got to go back to work.
I
Oh,
know.
Yeah.
that
No one works
stinks.
around
But
here.
I'm
they
going to
don't.
be home. I'm going to be home for 5 days, and then I'm back on the road to
Good
South
for
Carolina.
you.
Good for you.
That's we're in South Carolina.
I'll be staying in Anderson, South Carolina at the Springfield campground.
That's
I visited there
awesome.
last year. Weather was not too much in my favor last time. In fact,
When
there
you
was
go by
a
yourself, it always
there was a mattress floating in the lake, and I thought maybe Daniel had slipped off it. It kind of worried me there for a second. But no, I've and I talk about this on the program all the time. You know, if you've got a campground that you enjoy going to, and I've got a dozen of them already I've been to, but I always make it a point to walk around or drive around and find something that might be even better than I'm staying
Yeah,
at.
you've
then.
got to find that
Yeah.
premium site.
And for me, it's always going to be lakeside.
Yep.
I've always
I
enjoyed
feel
the lakeside
I'm the
view.
same way.
And it's quiet out there. You know, you can just let the stress roll off your shoulders,
Yep.
even if it's just for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
All right, and that's something I really do. And Daniel, I tell you, I thank him for getting me into the Grand Design because,
welcome.
yeah, that was a trip.
Son.
We talked
Daniel
about
brought
that
the sun.
quite a bit down to FDR State Park, and that's where I got washed out so bad. I had more camping equipment ruined that one trip.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, and I mean it cost me the entire weekend
We were
away.
fine in the pop-up. We were doing fine.
You're fine with that, Daniel. Yeah.
I think that mattress floating
That
down
was
the
the
river is
trip.
going to be your next staying spot.
That what?
That
You
was
can't-
the trip that made you start
That was the
looking
one.
into it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was 3 days later is when I pulled up the road. And I
You're
didn't
like,
even go home with the RV. I took it right to Daniel's house. I had to show it off to him.
That's really
yeah.
nice. That's awesome.
And it was something that he wasn't expecting. Well, actually, I was not expecting it either.
Yeah.
So, but
That's awesome.
yeah, I've just been living the RV lifestyle ever since, and I'll never go back
I
to
know.
primitive camping.
We've been watching you online, and you're always somewhere. I'm like, hey, he's here. Oh, he's there.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
look,
there.
another
And I
one.
mean, it's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
The stays you've been at are amazing.
Yeah.
So.
But I've had it going on 3 years now, and
Really?
like I just talked a few minutes ago, you're always finding something that you're going to be adding to it to make
Absolutely.
it more like
Oh,
home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Always. There's always, people forget that. They think they could just hook up and go, but it's a house on wheels, and things jiggle around, and you need to fix things and improve things, and then you're like, this isn't working. I want to change it to make it more comfortable for me. So there's
Kinda
always
like
something.
your body, right? Your body, just get all that. You gotta go to the doctor.
Don't say our camper's like our body. It'll
never
fall
mind.
apart tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be saying
Well, for
that.
our listeners, our podcast listeners, and of course our YouTube fans also, if you're just recently catching this episode, we had Jody and Heidi on the program back in episode 248 last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was a real surprise. And when Daniel and I had you in the studio, by phone, of course, we never envisioned that this day would come.
Yeah.
Where we would actually get to meet you two at a campground
Absolutely.
and be
I know.
able to do this show. And it's really exciting to be able to do that.
Yeah, I know.
For us too.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
It's very exciting. I think that was one of the highlights of this trip. We're like, hey, we finally get to meet them. Like, we finally. Well, no, seriously. You see each other online, and you
Yeah.
chat through Facebook or whatever. But to actually physically meet someone after being online all the time, I think it's just it's fun.
Well, a lot of people have a hard time believing that Daniel and I have been doing this 10 plus years now.
I
That's
can't believe it.
unbelievable. That's
I was
amazing, you
talking
guys.
to Daniel about it the other day. I was telling him about the very first one that I listened to. It was one of your first. I'm not sure if it was between 1 and 5, but it was you've changed and you've grown so
Yeah, we
much
were in the corner back
since that first or fifth one, whatever one I watched.
Yeah,
Still in the corner.
And
You're still in the
back in
corner?
those days, we didn't believe we would eventually be moving to another studio,
Right.
into
Yeah.
a more professional studio,
Yep.
let alone be doing remotes like this.
Exactly.
I know that's pretty
So,
amazing,
yeah, I
you
mean,
guys.
the show has really grown. The equipment and everything that we've added to it
Yeah.
to make it more professional, it has grown. And we plan on doing this as long as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If it brings you happiness, you should do it. For
It
as
is,
long
yeah.
as possible.
It's just as much fun as climbing in the RV and and crashing for the night.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not. It seems like there's not a lot of camping podcasts out there.
There isn't.
Oh, really?
We don't really. Yeah, I think like maybe one or two.
When we search, there's maybe a handful that
Yeah.
come up.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and this is one of these podcasts, that you speak from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And you could tell just the way Daniel and I kick back and forth.
Yeah.
I had no clue when I first met him that he was into camping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was quite a shock to both of us, and then finally when I decided to do the podcast, yeah, here comes Daniel.
He kicks right in.
I remember when we started talking about camping, I had my pop-up, and then you were trying to get me in a tent, and now I'm in my pop-up, you're trying to get me in an RV.
Well, I did get you in a tent one time.
You did.
We had
I
the
still do the
Great
tent
American Backyard Camp Out.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
we camped out in my backyard at that time. Yeah, that's I think that was about the only time Daniel and I were side by side in a tent.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's all RV and pop up.
Yep.
But yeah, Daniel, I'm really pleased that you were able to come down here and
Yeah.
make the trip. What do you think about this? What is your thoughts now that you've had to experience the very first Grand Design
I was,
Rally?
Up all night last night with a bunch of people, and it's either a cult or
Yeah.
a religion,
It's borderline
or it's like,
cult.
and I've learned that like the people that have been to like 5 rallies, they're like the top people. Like, oh, remember that rally 4 years ago? Yeah, we did this, we did that. Oh yeah, oh, remember this rally? And it's just amazing how many memories that people form with each other over the years and just get so close. And it's just like, it's almost like a traveling circus or something.
Yep.
Well, that's good, Dana, because from what I've seen of you so far, you blend right in with everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's one thing about this community is they're very welcoming. Most
Yeah.
people, you just sit down and they just start talking to you. They don't even need to know who you are. They're just like, hey, how are you? Where you been? Is it your first rally? It's just great. It's
Yeah.
a great community in general.
Well, I'm so looking forward to us getting together again, and even though this is the first time we met, I think it's going to be one in many.
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
You're
down-
stuck.
down the
You're
road,
stuck with
yeah.
us now. You're in the family. So
Because, yeah,
so
we-
there's-
You are locked in if you ever want to come
Yep.
up to our rally in
Yep.
New England.
I might
So,
fly.
you just
might-
let us know, but you're locked in.
It's a little bit of a drive, but we may make that
Yeah.
trip one of these
Yeah.
days. and
Daniel
we'll
will be in his
definitely-
new lineage.
We'll definitely plan in advance, yeah. But we've been eating good. The food's good here, and we just got back from the food truck
Ooh,
a little
yes.
bit ago before we
Very good.
started the show. That's why we're so high strung here,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
at the moment.
Exactly.
Yep, you're full
Yeah.
of good food and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
For another couple days. So
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Daniel, you think you're ready to go to another rally?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'll
We're-
bring
we're
more
gonna-
games.
we're gonna-
playing tabletop shuffleboard last night for a few hours.
Till
I was
like 1 a.m. I believe,
Yeah,
correct?
they do
1
love
a.m.
games here.
Yeah, so I need to bring some more games out.
Yeah.
Well, I got quite a few years on the three of you, so I go to bed early.
They were
but
just as old as you last night. I was the youngest. I was a young buck last
Yep.
night. They were calling me young. I love
Yep.
I'm glad
Yep.
you had a good time. He got me into board games not too long ago. I hadn't played
Yeah,
board
he
games
Yep.
for
since I was a
Thanksgiving one
kid. And being a single guy, I had nothing to do, and
Right.
they invited me on over, so I got to meet his mom and his
Nice.
sister and everything, and we sat there and played board games. And I'll tell you what,
They
I
did pretty
haven't
good,
done that
too.
since I was a kid.
I know. It is
Yeah.
fun to let
Yeah.
loose for a night and just kind of relive your past.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
And they
So-
get a little rowdy around here
do.
with the board games. They're very
Yeah, we're worried
serious about
quiet
their
hours.
yeah,
That's quite all right. I
serious
slept
about
right
board
on
games.
through it.
Yeah. See, the sunglasses aren't because of the sun. It's because we were up till
Right.
1 in the
Back to
morning,
the-
and I look really tired.
Okay. Well, these campsites here are a little bit tight, but there's
Yeah.
still enough room between you and your neighbors and
Yes.
everything, and
Yeah.
and that's okay. I mean, it's a very well kept campground. And speaking of campgrounds, Daniel, it's time now for our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio.
And Daniel,
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, we got a shout out here.
Ah!
Yeah, we got a big shout out to everybody who came here to attend the Grand Design SEGA
That's a
Rally.
lot of shouting.
Yeah,
That is
we
a
got
lot
a
of
shout
shouting.
out to everybody, and I had the
Hey,
opportunity
good job.
to drive through the campground yesterday And that brings us to our featured campground of the week, which is the Coastal Georgia RV Resort.
I've heard that.
Anybody wants to come here to Coastal Georgia, it's a great campground to visit, and it's right off the interstate. It's very easy to get to, very well kept, very manicured, very well maintained, and a lot of activities right in the area. Daniel, he's the kind of a guy that just cannot sit still for
I'm
even
moving
2
right
minutes.
after this, baby.
So Daniel,
I've
why don't you
noticed
tell
that.
us some of the activities and events in this area here?
So yesterday I went to Fort Frederica. I didn't even know what it was. I was just looking for somewhere to ride my bike. I went to Fort Frederica, and I got there like literally 10 minutes as a tour started. So I got to get in on a about 45-minute tour, which is really cool. And then I rode my bike all the way down to the main area of St. Simons. Rode on the beach. That was interesting. I rode on the beach for about an hour, or about a mile or two, and of course I went to go play disc golf, and then I went to see some Brunswick stew.
So everything is pretty local. It's just very easy to get to.
Yeah.
So, if you don't want to stay at the campground, you can go to the beach, and the beach is how far away from here?
Oh, it's maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes,
Maybe.
wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is right about the great time to visit the beach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this has been the hottest temperatures I've seen since the
There's a lot
beginning of
people
the
out
year.
there yesterday.
Yeah, but we've been living it up. We've been having a great time. And if you want to make your reservation, we'll have a phone number right down here at the bottom of the screen where you can call the Coastal Georgia RV Resort, and you can get in touch with them. They'll tell you more than I've been able to talk to you about right here on this particular episode. But it's a great campground, one that you may want to visit sometime down the road, whether this year, next year, or the year after. Come visit us here. It's the Georgia Coastal RV Resort, and it is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel. HappyCamperRadio.com.
And if you have a campground you'd like for us to feature on the program, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at HappyCamperRadio.com, or this guy right over here.
Hey, Daniel at HappyCamperRadio.com.
And be sure to include a link to the campground website. Jody and Heidi, thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you,
the time
guys.
to come up here and visit us and be on the program. And I'm so looking forward to getting together with you two again somewhere down the road.
Us too. Thank
Yeah.
you for having us.
Absolutely. Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do exactly as I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. We're on the web 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on X. And by all means, check out our YouTube channel where you can watch this episode. It's one you won't want to miss. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper. So is Jody and Heidi. And by all means, we're going to make a happy camper out of you. We're back in the studio next week. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Happy Camper Radio.